Interesting because we have had plenty of warning on the storm and a lot of people have taken action. They're going to be staying off the roads here this evening. A lot of activities are canceled. You can look for those at woodtv.com. Snow is falling across the entire area at this time. It is anywhere from light to heavy snow. And it's not just the snow, it's the biting cold. It's the blowing and drifting snow we're going to contend with tonight. As we take a look at Storm Track Live, you can see the precipitation moving from west to east across the area. And I'll stop her here for just a second. You'll be able to see there are pockets out here where it's snowing quite hard, just to the east of Grand Rapids through the Muskegon area at the current time. These little pockets of blue will continue to rotate on through overnight tonight. And of course, there will be a lot of blowing and drifting with this. I want to pull out just a second. There's a whole general area of light snow. You can see the snow extending back toward Milwaukee, so this is not all lake effect. This is a general area of snow, and it's going to be enhanced by the relatively warmer waters of Lake Michigan. The back edge of the what we call the synoptic snow here, back across Wisconsin, that gets to the lakeshore areas by around 9 o'clock and into Grand Rapids by around 11 or so. So beginning around 11 o'clock, it looks like the synoptic portion, the general area of snow here, is going to move off toward the east. But as our winds go in from the south where they are now more into the west, that will start lake effect over much of our area here. And so our snow will not stop. It will keep going overnight. As we get into a northwest wind tomorrow, the heavier snow will be along the lakeshore and then extending inward toward Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, about like that. That's where the most significant snow will be during the morning hours tomorrow. Here's a look at the winter weather, or the winter storm warning in the pink color, and we have added several counties since early this morning. Yesterday when this was out, we did not have Kent, Berry, and Kalamazoo. Those three counties have been added. Again, the farther west in those counties you are, the more likely that you will be seeing warning storm criteria snowfall, which will be about 6 to 12 inches of snow. Areas in the purple are under a winter weather advisory. That will be for anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of new snow. And the Howland Skycam not visible there. This is Muskegon, and boy, I had to spin this thing around in all directions to find something to actually see. It is snowing so hard. They say car lights you can see from about 1/8 of a mile away, but at 1/8 of a mile even you cannot see car lights. That's how hard it's snowing in Muskegon. Now, can you imagine trying to drive up 131 on 196? If you're here in Grand Rapids and you got to go to Muskegon, boy, if there's any way you can kind of can that until tomorrow, that would be the thing to do, because driving through this is going to be a mess for sure. In Grand Rapids, not quite so bad. You can see there are cars on the expressway that are going a little bit slower than posted speeds. It will get worse. Visibilities will be reduced here. And as you can see, we've got this amount of snow that we forecast here for this evening and into tomorrow. You can see the heavier snow totals be toward the lake, about 10 inches there, plus blowing and drifting. I expect some drifts to be around 2 feet high. So indeed, it's going to be a nasty evening here in West Michigan. The snow showers will continue into the day tomorrow. And a little bit later on in the show, we'll tell you when things might ease up a bit.
In addition to the heavy snow, Bill, we also have strong winds coming our way. Let me show you this wind futurecast over the next 24 hours. This is going to contribute to some pretty significant blowing and drifting of the snow and hence reduced visibility. So this is not going to be a great night for travel here across West Michigan, especially the next roughly 6 to 8 hours when we get the peak snowfall and the strongest of the winds starting to roll in. So we put this into motion. Keep an eye on those blue areas. Those represent wind speeds over 30 miles per hour. Sustains. We could see gusts up to 40 or 45 miles per hour, especially at the lakeshore. That means near whiteout and intermittent blizzard conditions with this storm. 10 p.m., strongest winds by the lakeshore, but even inland we're seeing 25, almost 30 mile per hour sustained winds. By tomorrow morning, the winds let up a little bit, but not much. Still very breezy. Even though the heaviest of the snow has let up and passed to our east, we're still going to see ground blowing and drifting of that snow that fell overnight. Wind chills also a problem for us. That's what we're seeing on the bottom line here. We get a brief warm up here tonight. Wind shift. Temperatures may briefly exceed 10 degrees, but not for long. Tomorrow, going to be a cool day. Very cold wind chills for us. So highlights and what you need to know about this upcoming event. Blowing and drifting, especially in the open areas and near the lakeshore here tonight and tomorrow. Intermittent blizzard conditions, especially tonight. And wind subsides a bit overnight, but don't be deceived by that because those winds are not going to subside a whole lot. We're still talking about some pretty strong wind conditions here later tonight. And my philosophy on this, guys, is Brian and Sue, is we give people the information, they make their own decisions. So it's not very often that Bill and I would say something like, hey, if you don't need to travel, you'd want to stay in tonight, because road conditions are going to be pretty rough, especially in those open areas where we have a lot of blowing and drifting.
This was a system that was already producing snow, but it's that lake-enhanced stuff too. That's it.
Right. We're seeing a different storm than they're seeing across the lake in Milwaukee, because they're getting, as Bill mentioned, the synoptic snow, the storm system itself, but then you bring that Arctic air across Lake Michigan, boom, double whammy for us. So we may get twice as much snow on this side of the lake compared to the other side.
Good to note. All right. Thank you, Kyle.
Kyle, thank you.
Our team coverage continues now with a huge priority tonight. That's keeping the roads and streets clean. 24-hour News 8's Danny Carlson's live in Kent County.
But we start in Holland, where the snow is falling, and Casey Jones is there right now with an update for us. Casey?
Yeah, Sue, right now that snow is falling. Really light, kind of fluffy snow, the lighter kind of snow. The biggest problem seems to be that wind, that drifting, causing that excess buildup in areas. The roads here, we're on 8th Street and Central Street, right in downtown Grand Rapids, right in downtown Holland. And the streets really picking up the slush here, starting to get a little more hazardous. But population and life in downtown Holland seems to be going about their business as usual, as is the case before the teeth of this storm really hits the area. As you just saw, cars all lined up here on 8th Street as they prepare to leave work and possibly head home. We've seen a few people outside walking their dogs. We've seen people going for a jog, believe it or not, despite the temperatures. People in and out of these little shops here in downtown Holland. We did just check with the Ottawa County Road Commission. They said right now they have their normal crew on. There's about 65 guys out there right now plowing the Ottawa County roads and then the major highways here in Ottawa County. We also have a call into the Holland Street Department, and we'll figure out what their plan is for this evening as things continue to get worse. But those crews, of course, will be out all night, and we'll be, of course, out here all night as well, keeping you updated on those current road conditions. Live in Holland, Casey Jones, 24-hour News 8.
All right, Casey, thank you for that live report.
And 24-hour News 8's Danny Carlson is inland a little bit in Kent County with how they've been attacking the streets for days now. Danny?
And you know what, Sue? They are attacking the streets, but I do want to point out just how painfully cold and windy it is right now. So if you do not have to go outside, don't. Now, we talked to someone from the Kent County Road Commission today. He says today they are going to be out on the roads in full force, all 90 trucks. But yesterday, they were trying to burn off a thin layer of ice that was on the highways still by using a special brine of calcium chloride. Now, that combined with that little bit of sun that we had yesterday literally burned off that layer of ice that was on the highway. So we wanted to know, we asked Jerry Byrne from the Kent County Road Commission, if it's so effective, why not just use that all the time?
Number one, it's not good for the environment. We cannot dump that kind of salt on the road day after day. We live in the Great Lakes state for a reason, and we're not going to saturate the soils with chlorides. Okay, we need to use it when it makes good sense for the environment, sense for the infrastructure. Salt is hard on the infrastructure. It's hard on your cars, it's hard on the bridges, and it's hard on the pocketbook. Those type of decisions are $50,000, $60,000 decisions, and we did that multiple times a day through the course of the winter, we would have no money left.
And you know what, Jerry was also telling us today that trying to burn off that ice with this type of equipment when it's so cold like this that there isn't that much sun and we're expected to get just so much snowfall today, it really wouldn't be effective. It only works on that first up to about an inch or so. So when the snow gets so thick, he says, you know, it really just, you just lose that in all of the snow that's coming down. So again, they do plan to be out all night long, 12-hour shifts, 90 trucks on Kent County roadways. And again, they're asking, take it slow, drive safely, and again, if you can stay home, it is incredibly cold outside, just stay home. Live in Grand Rapids tonight, Danny Carlson, 24-hour News 8.
Okay, Danny, thank you. Now we're going to go live to Jerry Byrne from Kent County. Just a few minutes to get a check of current conditions from him. Brian?
All right, Sue, down here at the live desk where the scanner activity is starting to pick up now. No real big issues out there at this point in time. We should let you know, though, out at the Ford Airport, we're all getting word of some flight delays and cancellations. In fact, U.S. Airways saying that all flights to and from Grand Rapids have been canceled until noon tomorrow. So if you're flying out of the Ford, do indeed check ahead before you head out. We do want to get a check of the area roads out there. Let's kick it over to Wood Radio 1300's Alyssa McElrath with a full report on the streets. Alyssa?
Whiteout conditions, drifting and blowing snow, definitely worse nearing the lake shore. Visibility is really low and it is getting worse, as you can see looking at the traffic camera here. Lots of slide-offs reported on main roads and highways. Definitely a day where you want to brush those headlights off and turn them on manually. Road conditions are going to get worse as the snow picks picks up, and because of the low temperatures, the salt isn't always working. It's definitely a day where if you don't have to drive, definitely don't. For 24-hour News 8, Alyssa McElrath, News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
The Plainwell Department of Public Safety is reminding all businesses and residents in the area to keep fire hydrants clear of snow. But that reminder can be said for really any of you who live near hydrants. The fear is that heavy snow over the next few hours could bury hydrants, making it hard for firefighters to find them in an emergency. As we told you at the top of the hour, GVSU has already called off classes for tonight because of the storm. We expect to hear about many more closings over the coming hours, and by tomorrow morning, of course. You can get an instant look at all the closures that apply to you right at woodtv.com. And you can take the weather directly into your own hands, literally. Go to our new Storm Teammate weather app. There are the instructions on where to find it. It's on your screen. We have more at woodtv.com, too. Over the next 2.5 hours, we're bringing you live reports from the field up to the second tracking and live interviews. Plus, tonight, look for live weather updates throughout all night long. We'll keep it right here on Wood TV 8. Brian, let's send it back down to you.
All right, Sue, thanks. Here now with Marley Ginter talking about, of course, it's very cold outside. It's also flu and cold season, and today we got some updated numbers on the flu and deaths in Kent County.
Yes, we did, because we told you about 4 flu-related deaths in Kalamazoo, and that was yesterday. We're looking at even more of these in Kent County. 9 flu deaths. That's according to the Kent County Health Department. 6 of them lived in Kent County. The other 3 were from neighboring counties. We're told most of those who died after getting the flu were older and had compromised immune systems. Even so, the flu outbreak across West Michigan continues to be extensive, putting hundreds in the hospital every week. Of course, we are continuing to check in with area health departments just to make sure we stay on top of all this.
Yeah, we're starting to see those numbers now after the holidays.
Yes, we
all
are.
these numbers coming in. All right, Marley, thank you for that. Sue, we'll send it back up to you in the tracking center.
Well, moderate to heavy snow falling across much of West Michigan. This is going to continue this evening. Lots of travel problems here. We got lots to track, and coming up we'll have the 8-day forecast for you as well.
Behind the snow that's pushing through right now, Bill, we have lake effect snow that's going to kick in and amplify these totals. We'll show you what we're thinking coming up next.
And coming up, how the system that's hitting us is forcing a cold blast really throughout the country. We'll hear from a couple of NBC reporters in just a few minutes. Plus, we're talking live with the Kent and Muskegon County Road Commissions about what they're doing to prepare for all this and keep our streets as safe as possible and as clear as possible. Brian?
Back live now, you're looking at a live shot from Holland. The snow is getting heavier out there. The lakeshore is going to see by far the most of the snow, making travel very dangerous.
Here right now with Bill and Kyle from Storm Teammate with a walkthrough on the next 24 hours.
Kyle's back there.
Yeah, he's still
Get out of the way. You can kind of see
looking
him
at all
here.
the data in there. Yeah. So what's it going to look like over the next 24 hours, Bill?
Well, I anticipate a lot of schools closed come tomorrow morning, so a lot of kids will be watching tonight at 10 and 11. We'll have a list of those for you. But the snow, it's not just the snow, it's the cold, it's the drifting and the blowing snow that's going to be a problem. And that will certainly impact travel here tonight into tomorrow morning. Once again, we'll take a look at Storm Track Live and show you what's out there. You can see the pockets of darker blue where it's snowing harder. Lighter blue indicates lighter snow at the current time. And I think we're going to continue to see this move on through the area here, so it'll be snowing pretty continuously through much of the evening. Inland areas northeast of Grand Rapids will see the snow taper off around midnight to just occasional snow showers, while the snow will continue in areas southwest of Grand Rapids, where a northwest wind will keep the lake effect going into tomorrow morning. I think we'll continue to see the snow area moving on through, and what you see out there is what you're going to get. It'll be light snow for a while, then rather heavy snow is expected as it continues to move on through. Winter storm warning is for the counties that border Lake Michigan and the next set of counties inland. So if you're in a lakeshore county, or also Cass, Kalamazoo, Berry, Kent, Newaygo, Lake counties, all under that winter storm warning. And in those areas, we can expect about 6 to 12 inches of new snow here. We'll be seeing about 3 to 6 inches of snow in those purple counties you see that are under a winter weather advisory. And again, this will be in effect until 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So it's not just tonight. This continues into tomorrow, and it's a multifaceted event. It's for the snow, the drifting, the blowing snow, and the cold temperatures as well. A couple of sky cams to show you. This is Muskegon. It is snowing harder in Muskegon than it is in Holland at the current time. If you look at these sky cams, we've been moving these around. You can see a little bit here. That's not all that far away, and if you look real close, you can see some of the drifting that's going on with a fairly strong southwest wind. This is Jenison, not snowing quite as hard here, and you can see the wind is kind of variable. It picks up a little bit and then slows down some, but that wind will be brisk here tonight. We've had reports of wind gusts as high as 49 miles an hour on the beach at Muskegon, so it's really roaring there. Downtown Grand Rapids from GVSU. By the way, the river, a lot of ice in it. We've been monitoring ice jams on both the Grand River and also on the Flat River, where the rivers come up to flood stage. As you can see, traffic moving along slowly, and traffic is lighter than usual. A lot of folks tending to want to stay home. Here's how much snow we expect. Again, the farther east you are, the less snow there will be, but there'll still be several inches of snow over toward Lansing, Ionia East. Heaviest snow totals will be along the lakeshore. This extra area of snow coming down here is going to fall during the day tomorrow. So Kalamazoo may get more snow during the day tomorrow than it will tonight, or about the same amount both times. Look for some isolated areas near the lake to pick up around a foot of snow. So this is what it looks like in Grand Rapids. Look real close. You see the buildings there downtown. That's Plaza Towers. 8 above. Temperature actually goes up rather than down here this evening, but travel will be very tough. Current temperatures were 2 in Grand Rapids. It is just 3 in Kalamazoo. Warmer at the northern lakeshore. Now winds are south-southwest. Once those winds go west, I think inland temperatures will be warming up to around 15, and that would be around midnight tonight. Winds out of the south now. When's the last time you saw a south wind and the temperature was near 0 during the daytime here in West Michigan? Doesn't happen very often. Minus 19 on the wind chill, Grand Rapids and in Kalamazoo. Minus 18 at Holland. These are wind gusts within the past hour. We expect these to actually increase a little bit as we head on through the night tonight. So here's the snow that's over us. This is at 7 o'clock tonight. A lot of dark blue indicating at least moderate snowfall over much of the area. This kind of transitions off to the east a little bit. Colors brighten a touch, but it's still snowing pretty good here at midnight. And again, some of these snowfall rates could be up to around an inch an hour or so. We get toward daybreak tomorrow morning, and the snow is tapered off to flurries, places like Ionia, Lansing, Carson City, up to Mount Pleasant. Still going pretty strong, though, southwest of Grand Rapids. Early morning, Allegan, Van Buren, Kalamazoo counties will continue to see snow, and then during the day, this kind of develops inland once again. So all of us seeing these snow showers with additional, at least light accumulations during the day tomorrow. 8-day forecast looks like this. Pretty cold, raw day tomorrow. Temperature struggles to about 12 during the afternoon. Again, almost 20 degrees colder than normal for this time of year. We continue to see snow showers, though they will be winding down by late tomorrow. Saturday, lighter snow showers, 15, couple degrees warmer. Any accumulations would be fairly light on Saturday. Sunday, I think we can get up to the upper 20s, and with lighter winds, upper 20s will feel like a heat wave out there. Grab the Coppertone, get the grill out, whatever. Enjoy football. Temperatures, nothing really warm showing up. And in fact, look at those 2 mornings we have here into Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, temperatures around 0. We have one model that forecasts 17 below 0 for Grand Rapids here next Tuesday morning. We'll keep an eye on that. I think that's too cool, but no end to the Arctic air as we head into next week. It moderates a little bit, winds will be lighter, feel a little bit better, and no big snowstorms next week.
All right. Time to kick off the ice fishing season.
It is. A lot of people are out there. I've had people tell me they're getting a lot of gills out there.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Bill.
Bill, thank you. Let's take a look live right now around West Michigan as this winter storm ramps up.
Another live look from Holland. They are starting to see a little bit more snow out there.
And the entire country is really suffering from this bout of old man winter. We'll get updates from our NBC reporters fanned out across the United States.
We are keeping a close eye out on the roads as the later we get into the afternoon and the evening rush, the more dangerous this situation could become. You're looking at a live shot of 131 at West River. Traffic moving slowly, but still moving pretty good. Let's bring in a live phone interview now, Jerry Byrne with the Kent County Road Commission. Jerry, thanks for joining us tonight. What is your plan going into the evening?
Well, the plan is we have 90 trucks out there. Safe and sound. We'll bring 30 fresh people in at 6 o'clock tonight. to address the heavy snowfall, basically mechanically scraping off as much of the snow as we can. I'm looking at a pavement temperature right now of 3 degrees. Salt's just not going to work. So the real effort's going to be mechanically scrape and plow as much of that snow off as we can and make it passable for motors. Certainly it's going to be slow travel both tonight and tomorrow, but just get the heavy bulk of the snow off the road.
You know, Jerry, we were talking about the timing of the storm, not ideal, of course, with the rush hour, but you guys are really looking ahead more to tomorrow morning. Is that right?
I would say so. The morning when we get the 6 or 8 or 10 inches of snow and it's accumulated on a lot of the back roads and the high wind, you know, we have some potential to have some drifting issues both on the interstate and the backcountry roads. So I think the worst of it may be tomorrow morning when we get all that powder blowing around with the wind that's projected.
And are you juggling schedules at all as far as tomorrow? Are you going to call your guys in early?
Yeah, they will be. We stagger the shifts, so they'll be coming in at 4 and at 6 a.m. They've been on 12-hour shifts since Saturday, so it's really staggering them based on getting as many at that pre-rush hour as we can to accommodate the biggest bulk of the traffic.
Right. And Jerry, just to reiterate, you said you're not throwing the salt down. Are you throwing anything down, any dirt or anything like that?
Yeah, we are putting some sand down at the intersection. But again, that's really where the folks have to stop. To try to put it out on the interstate where you have traffic and speed, that just really blows off at this point. So our goal is to get as much of that accumulation scraped off and hope the motorists slow down to drive at a nice, safe speed. And everybody can make it. It's really just a slow down day.
Slow down and stay steady. Good advice. Jerry Byrne with the Kent County Road Commission. Jerry, thanks for your time. Great work. Stay safe.
Thank you.
We're dealing with a lot of snow and bitter cold, but we aren't seeing the worst of it. Let's send it out to our NBC meteorologist with what they're seeing around the country.
I'm Weather Channel meteorologist Reynolds Wolf, coming to you along the shores of the Cumberland River here in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. Well, we're in the deep freeze today and to remain that way all the way through Sunday. All city schools are closed for the time being due to the cold air and also due to the cold effects it's having on the braking systems of many of the school buses. The city, by the way, has set up 2 mobile units for people to go in and just take some shelter from the cold air. And let me tell you, they've been here before. They've actually dealt with a cold snap just like this last year, roughly the same day, except they did have a bit of snow. All right, that's the story here in Nashville. Let's send it up to the Twin Cities and my friend Dylan Dreyer.
Here in Minneapolis, the snow has picked up. So now not only are we dealing with wind chills currently around 10 below zero, we've got this wind that's tossing the snow around. It's going to reduce visibility pretty quickly on the roads. You can see it's already covering the streets as well, so they could be slick in spots. Now today actually wasn't as cold as it has been. Minneapolis schools were reopened today, but we'll see what happens tomorrow morning when those wind chills are back down around 20 to 30 below zero. And this is cold that's stretching all the way to the northeast and down into the southeast too. But here in Minneapolis, it is another frigid day. In Minneapolis, Dylan Dreyer, NBC News.
Well, Storm Track Live showing the snow anywhere from light to heavy across the area. Up to a foot of snow could fall in the most favorable lakeshore areas over the next 24 hours. Up next, we'll update temperatures, wind chill, and we'll tell you how much snow to expect for tonight and tomorrow.
Live from the 24-hour tracking center, this is a winter weather alert.
And good afternoon again, everybody. Brian Sterling along with Susan Shaw. We're outside here as we start off our 4:30 half hour of our special weather presentation. Ellen can be seen over at WOTV4. We should add that. It is quite cold. The snow is starting to come down here in Grand Rapids, and we are feeling the blast of this winter weather.
We definitely are. Take a look outside right now here in downtown Grand Rapids. You can see the wind picking up, and the snow is fine, but it's chilly and it's coming down quick. So we know it's going to accumulate. Things are expected to get worse throughout the night, of course, so that's going to cause some problems throughout the area. But we're watching the storm come across the lake and take over West Michigan right now. It's snowing, but you know, we really haven't seen the worst of it as of yet.
It's the whipping wind, though, that's really expected to make travel conditions tricky, particularly as it gets dark along the lakeshore.
Here's a live look at traffic conditions right now. No major problems out there right now to report to you. We're going to take you live to the streets in just minutes.
We do have team coverage for you on this storm tonight. We're showing you how road crews are getting ready and what it looks like out at the lakeshore, and how this cold will be impacting just about everyone. But as we start with the track of the storm, we're going to go back inside tonight with the meteorologists Bill Steffen and Kyle Underwood working hard in the 24-hour tracking center. Guys?
Yeah, hi, how you doing? How do we get them to go outside? Isn't that kind of, usually it's us out there in the cold and snow. Hey, I tell you what, we've got a lot of snow on the way here for this evening. That means tough travel. Let's take a look at Storm Track Live. Everybody picking up on the snow. You can see the darker areas of blue, which have shot all the way east of Lansing at the current time. It's not just the snow, it's the wind that's really blowing the snow around. There'll be little pockets in here where it eases up for a while, but more of the snow is going to continue on through the night. And as we expand out here a little bit, you'll see this system coming on through. This is a two-pronged system. We have a general area of snow that's come across Wisconsin and Michigan. That'll be moving off toward the east after midnight tonight. But then we have the lake snow, and the lake is contributing with a southwest wind to heavier snowfalls up here from Muskegon north right now, and that will transition inland. As the wind goes northwest here tomorrow, we expect these areas right along the lake up into Kalamazoo right in there. That's where the heaviest snow will fall during the morning hours after daybreak tomorrow. This is a look from out at Holland. This is Boatworks. You can't see across the lake. Snowing hard there, blowing. You can see the flag hanging out. Wind gusts there over 30 miles an hour. This is Muskegon, and that's the roof. And I'm showing you a picture of the roof because I can't see anything else to show you. It would just be a white camera. So we're looking at the roof. We're looking at the snow flying on by, drifting snow as well. The visibility in Muskegon has been running about 1/8 to 1/4 of a mile, and that's how far away you could see car headlights. So indeed, that is heavy snow accumulating at the rate of about 1 inch an hour. This is a look at current temperatures. Very cold day, 2 above in Grand Rapids, 3 Muskegon. Now it's 3 on the beach at Holland at the current time. What we have is a southwest wind coming in like this. And so where the wind comes in across the lake, you can see right in here it's a little bit warmer. It's 5 at the airport at Muskegon, but 17 on the beach, and you can see it's 20 at Ludington. Once the wind goes west, some of this milder air is going to work its way inland, so I expect the temperature in Grand Rapids to rise up to around 15 here by around midnight tonight as the winds turn west. South winds now pretty strong, 22 miles an hour Kalamazoo and the regional airport in Holland, 18 Grand Rapids, Ionia. And look at those wind chill temperatures. Boy, it is cold if you're going out, 19 below here in Grand Rapids and in Kalamazoo. These are visibilities. A lot of areas of the visibility is down around 1/4 to 1/2 mile. The visibility in Ludington is 0 at the current time. I certainly don't want to be driving in that, and conditions will stay this way right on through the evening. That's what we expect for the evening hours. Temperature rises to 8 by around 11 o'clock in Grand Rapids. Snow, blowing and drifting snow. Very tough travel throughout the area. These are, again, current temperatures, and these temperatures, again, should go up instead of down overnight tonight. Kyle's here now, and he's going to talk about how much snow we expect tonight and tomorrow.
Bill, we can see it moving in. This is our live GVSU downtown Grand Rapids Skycam. You can kind of make out 131 there, and then it just looks like some unhealthy mashed potatoes on the top half of the screen. The visibilities are coming down. We're down to about 1/2 mile visibility here in Grand Rapids. And for the duration here, for the next 6-8 hours as the heaviest of the snow comes through, this is probably as good as visibility is going to get. Of course, the sun is setting now. It's going to start getting darker. And as that does, as things get darker, that's going to make travel a little bit tougher here tonight. So you're going to want to use extra caution headed out the door if you have to go out this evening. Let's talk about snowfall totals. I mean, this is what people want to know, right? Let's put the snowfall forecast graphic into motion, and these are not typos. This is by midnight tonight, 11 o'clock actually. Look how quickly the snow falls along the lakeshore. We have 8, 9, 10-inch totals west of US 131, and from Holland northward, we could see 9 inches in Holland by midnight tonight. 1/2 foot of snow is possible here in Grand Rapids. Same story for Kalamazoo. Now, after midnight, the batch of snow that Bill was just showing you on Storm Track Live, that big batch itself pushes off to the east. And as that happens, a lot of cold air is being ushered in. And so with the Arctic air crossing Lake Michigan, we have lake enhancement and lake effect snow kicking in late tonight and through the day tomorrow. So when I run this past 11 p.m., pay attention to this area, including Kalamazoo and Battle Creek. That's where the snow will focus through the day tomorrow and even late tonight with more lake effect snow. So even if we pick up 1/2 foot in Kalamazoo by midnight tonight, you will likely pick up several more inches south and west of Grand Rapids because of the lake effect snow. And with the heavy snow, the blowing, the drifting, and very low visibility, we are under a winter storm warning for everybody shaded in pink. So this includes Newaygo, Kent, Berry, Kalamazoo County, and then all of the lakeshore counties. Cass County, you're in the mix too. It's going to be a bad night for driving tonight. Exercise extreme caution if you do have to do any traveling here tonight. Coming up in about coming up in a few minutes, we've got the 8-day forecast. You know, people are asking me on Twitter, so when does this all stop? We will answer that question in about 10 minutes.
Okay, Kyle, thank you. Not everyone can avoid being out in this treacherous weather.
No, 24-hour News 8's Joe LaFurgey's live outside of Spectrum Butterworth with the ER and that part of the story. Joe?
Yeah, good afternoon, Brian. Sue, we're talking about the first responders, the paramedics and EMTs, the firefighters, the police officers. They're the ones that can't avoid this weather. They're the people sent to accidents like this one at 76th Street near Broadmoor this afternoon. And the victim in this case had some sort of medical emergency that caused her to go off the road and hit the tree. We don't know her condition right now, but it brought out a large emergency response. This was before the snow hit, but the temperatures had already started to drop. Emergency crews do know how to dress for this kind of weather. But remember, it is not just exposure to the elements, to the cold, that they have to worry about.
Obviously, fire on the fire side, water and cold weather just don't mix. Makes things really dangerous. Everything gets coated, from the ladders they climb on to the surface we're walking on, everything.
They also rely on a lot of mutual aid. In the fire department's case, if they get a fire, they bring in a lot of outside crews so they can rotate through and try to keep as many people warm at a time as possible, but still do the job. And a big key here, though, to the dressing part of it is layers, lots of layers. They really lay it on, if you will, to make sure that they can stay warm in these conditions. Live in Grand Rapids, Joe LaFurgey, 24-hour News 8.
It's tough to be out there, Joe. Thank you so much. We appreciate their dedication and yours. Thank you. Well, let's send it over now to Elissa McElrath for a check of our traffic. What are you seeing out there, Elissa?
It's really slow going on northbound 131 through the S-curve downtown and 96 past Post Drive. Westbound 96 just after Forest Hill past Cascade is slow and building as well. Whiteout conditions, drifting, blowing snow, definitely worse nearing the lakeshore. Lots of reports of glare ice on the main roads and highways, and also a lot of slide-offs. If you don't have to drive today, definitely don't. And make sure you brush off those headlights and turn them on manually. For 24-hour News 8, Elissa McElrath, News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Thank you, Alyssa. We do expect more school closings over the coming hours, and by tomorrow morning, you can, of course, get an instant look at all of the closures right now at woodtv.com. Make sure you check out our Storm Team 8 app. You can use an interactive radar to track the snow in your area. You can keep up with the alerts out there, the forecasts, all right there on the app.
We continue to track the snow through the area. Snowfall rates up to 1 inch an hour expected here during the evening hours. A lot of blowing and drifting snow will make for very tough travel across the area. This will only slowly ease during the day tomorrow. The cold sticks around. Wind chill temperatures out there now running close to 20 below zero in inland areas. We'll talk more snow straight ahead.
It seems like forever ago, but November was the snowiest November in Grand Rapids weather history, is followed up by that December that brought us less than 1 inch of snow. So it does seem like ancient history, but for tonight's storm, for a few of us, we may actually see the biggest winter snowfall so far this season. We'll show you what we're thinking, plus a peer ahead into the crystal ball with the 8-day forecast and warmer weather not far away.
We also have some good information on how you can keep yourself and your family safe in the slippery conditions out there and the extremely cold temps.
Eva Goodey-Cooper is helping us out with that coming up in a few minutes. Stay with us. And of course, we're continuing to watch the roads as conditions deteriorate into the evening and the snow continues to fall. It's icy out there. Look at that video. We talked to the Muskegon County Road Commission director, and we'll be checking in just a few moments. Stay with us.
And a live look now in Kalamazoo. They're starting to see the snow, and if you live in that area, it'll be a little lighter, but you'll see a few inches.
Here's what it looks like on Storm Track radar right now. Let's take a look over here. Look at all this blue that's just all over the big screen. Let's send it on over to Storm Teammates Kyle Underwood in the tracking center. He's watching all of this closely. Kyle?
We're not talking about record totals. In fact, this will not go down in history as one of Grand Rapids' biggest storms ever, of course, but it's going to be noteworthy this week. There's no question about that. We've got some heavy snow falling out there right now. Visibility is an issue, and we're going to see a lot of blowing and drifting too. And for some folks, this may be the biggest snowfall so far this season. Let's take a live look outside right now. We've got a sky cam for you right now from Muskegon. Low visibility here. We're going to see slick roads, and you heard Jerry Byrne 15 minutes ago. He's saying that, yeah, they can put some sand out on the roads to help us at intersections and on steep hills. But the salt at these temperatures, 1 right now outside the Wood TV 8 studios, the salt is just not effective at these temperatures. And so slick roads are going to be everywhere tonight. We're talking about windy, cold, blowing, drifting conditions. Those continue for the rest of tonight. Wind chills hovering mostly sub-zero. We may get a brief break with temperatures climbing up to about 12 tonight before they fall back down again tomorrow. And then with Arctic air coming across the lake effect snow, big player for us coming up in the forecast tomorrow. Storm Track Live, a lot going on here. I want to pay a special attention to the areas of darker blue, and also you can see a little bit of a dry slot, or at least a period of snow-free weather coming in here before we get sandwiched on the other side by some more heavy snow. So the darker areas of blue, a concern and focus for us. That means we could be talking about near whiteout conditions in the lakeshore. Grand Haven, Mesquite, and Holland a little bit after 5 o'clock here, so about 20 minutes from now for that area of dark blue. Into Byron Center here in the next 10 or 15 minutes. Saugatuck and western Allegan County, you're seeing some pretty decent snow. May pick up and be occasionally heavy here by about 4:50 or so. A break from the snow to the lakeshore around 6. That may make it into Grand Rapids. We'll be kind of on the northern edge of that by 6:30. And then the back edge of all of this is not that far away. This is going to be here late tonight, probably 11 or midnight. The snow starts to wind down. But once this system pushes out, behind it is a lot of Arctic air. That Arctic air sweeps down, crosses Lake Michigan, and that means we have lake effect snow on the way once the storm system itself is cleared. Futurecast does a pretty good job of illustrating that, I think. We're at 7 p.m. You can see these areas of dark blue representing some pretty heavy snow. The heavy snow continues right up until about midnight. Then that system clears out. 11 p.m. you can see the back edge of it right here, and even what's left is not as heavy as what we're going to see in the early evening. Overnight, the synoptic or big scale storm system snow pushes out. These bands start to set up, especially south and west of Grand Rapids. Additional accumulations, continued slick roads for everybody, blowing and drifting for everybody with strong winds continuing. But the heavy lake effects, the lake effect snow, I should say, which will occasionally be heavy but mostly not heavy, continues mainly south and west of Grand Rapids. Let's talk about snowfall totals here. And I'm going to pause this at midnight tonight or 11 p.m. In the next 6 hours, we pick up 8 to 10 inches of snow on the lakeshore. By midnight tonight, 6 inches in Grand Rapids, 6 for Kalamazoo, and then tomorrow, this is the area of focus right here with several more inches of snow from lake effects. So this is going to be a big snow event for us, no question about that. Because of this, we have a winter storm warning for all the counties shaded in pink. Take a look at temperatures right now, 2 in Grand Rapids. This is our coldest day of the year so far, coldest day of the season, I should say. We haven't been this cold in West Michigan since last March. Winds out of the south, that will account for the warming that's coming our way later tonight. But the breeze is pretty significant, so it feels like 19 below here in Grand Rapids, a wind chill of minus 18 in Kalamazoo and 13 below currently in Fremont. Low visibility. Be very, very careful if you do have to travel tonight. Here's our 8-day forecast now. 90% chance of snow, especially lake effect, mainly south and west of Grand Rapids. High of 12 tomorrow. 15 coming up here on Saturday. Some flurries and light snow showers for Sunday. Warmer weather by the time we get into the weekend, and we're forecasting highs into the mid-20s. Wow, that'll be nice. Upper 20s even by the end of our 8-day forecast.
Okay, Kyle, thank you. We have a new way for you to take the severe winter weather into your own hands, literally.
We unveiled our interactive Storm Team app a few weeks ago, and Marley Ginter's here in studio with a walkthrough. Marley?
Have the app pulled up on a tablet right now so you can watch what I'm looking at over my shoulder. If I scroll through, you get a taste of just some of the things you can get with the Wood TV weather app. You can see an interactive radar, get winter weather alerts, hour-by-hour forecasts, and an updated list of closings. All the things you'll need right at your fingertips to stay on top of this storm and throughout the winter season. Brian?
Okay, thank you, Marley. Just ahead, some ways you can keep your family safe.
Eva Gede Cooper's report straight ahead.
And we're going to be checking back in with Storm Team 8. The guys working hard in there. They'll have another report starting at 5. And welcome back. We are monitoring things along the lakeshore this afternoon, and storm teammates Ellen Baca, normally working in the comfy confines of the Weather Center. She's headed out to the big lake and has a live report from the streets. Hey, Ellen.
Hey, it is brutal out here. I mean, you step outside for just a second and any part of your exposed skin feels like fire. Actually, the snow crystals almost sandblast you when the gusts really get you. When we left Grand Rapids, the conditions weren't awful. They were steadily deteriorating, though, about an hour ago. I would say visibility was about a mile, and once we got into Grand Haven itself, visibility was a quarter of a mile. Here by the lakeshore, it's not even that. I would say that you can only see a good 30 to 50 feet, and that's because of the blowing and the falling snow. Now, along with this, we have the wind chill, which we've been talking about quite extensively, but it's really rough. I had to run outside with my gloves outside for just a moment, and my fingers are still on fire because of it. And we were actually trying to take a few pictures to send back to you guys, but our phones were shutting down because it was so cold. So that just gives you a little bit of a visualization as to how chilly and how treacherous it is out here. Now, 2 days ago, I was out at South Haven just to kind of look at the waves myself. And there are about 8-foot waves building to 12-foot waves coming in the channel. And I just saw a picture on my way out here today where it was completely frozen over, tons of ice. So if I get a break here, I'm going to try to brave the weather conditions and get as close as I can safely to the water and see how far the ice extent is. We're right now near where the Grand River empties out into Lake Michigan, and that itself looks like it's getting close to freezing over completely. So very dangerous. We're not seeing a lot of cars on the road anymore, and hopefully everyone has gotten to where they've needed to get to safely.
All right, Ellen, stay safe out there. Thank you for that live report. Sue?
Thank you.
Okay, Ellen, thank you. Visibility very low out that way. Roads incredibly slick. Police and road commission leaders are telling you if you don't have to drive somewhere, stay off the roads. Safer for everybody and, of course, yourself. Joining me live on the phone from one county that's expected to really get hit hard over the next few hours, that's Muskegon County. And the Muskegon County Road Commission Managing Director, Ken Hulka, joining us now on the phone. Ken, what are you seeing out there?
Oh, I'm seeing a lot of wind and a lot of blowing snow.
What's your plan of attack at this point? How do you plan to get to the streets? I know the salt's not working that well because it's so cold. Are you using any sand?
Oh, yes. Yep. We're using, well, it's a sand salt mixture, but mostly it is sand. Just trying to give some traction to those slick spots.
Right. So tell us, how many trucks do you have out in the county that you'll be hitting the roads with? Are they already out there working?
Yeah, we held a few of the first shift guys over. Second shift is coming in a few minutes. They'll be going until 2 a.m. And then we've scheduled everybody, all of our first shift guys are coming in at 2 a.m. To start working on the roads.
Okay, blowing and drifting, certainly a problem out there. How do you tackle some of those roads that keep getting covered over as the wind just makes all of that snow and ice accumulate over and over again?
Yeah, unfortunately, you just have to go back over them. Some of them blow shut fairly quick, so the main roads, we're just doing loops like on the state highways and going right back over it as needed to try and keep them open.
Right, that's about all you can do. Certainly, do you have any advice for any drivers that are out on the roads? I know it's tricky around the plow trucks when they are out on the roads. What's your advice to drivers?
Well, our best advice would be, if possible, stay off the roads. But if you absolutely have to go out, drive careful and stay away from those plow trucks. It's hard. It's hard enough for them to do their job in this blowing snow. Their visibility is limited also, and we certainly don't want anyone getting injured.
No, that's for sure.
Running to our trucks.
It's dangerous out there, and the trucks need to be out there. People need to stay indoors. The visibility extremely low. Ken Hulka, thank you so much for joining us from the Muskegon County Road Commission. We appreciate your time, and be careful, and thank you for all you guys do.
Sure. Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, this cold weather blast reminds us that we need to take precautions to stay healthy and safe. Eva Gary-Cooper was at the Kent County Health Department with some basic reminders.
With frigid temperatures this week in the single digits, there are things we need to do to protect ourselves. I'm here with Lisa LaPlante from the Kent County Health Department with some things we need to know, tips that we don't always think about just to sort of stay safe.
That's right. You know, a lot of kids are going to be wanting to play outside in the snow, and it doesn't take long for frostbite to set in. So we want people to be thinking about frostbite. We want people to be thinking about respiratory issues, especially for kids who have asthma or for older adults. And we also want people to be thinking about their friends and neighbors. Make sure that they're checking on them, make sure they're doing okay in these frigid temperatures as well.
Some people use alternative means to heat themselves. What do they need to be wary of?
You know, you really have to be careful if you're using any kind of heaters. You want to make sure you're following manufacturer's instructions. This time of year, people tend to lose power, so if they use a generator, make sure they're using it outside the home, and make sure, again, you're following the instructions so that you're not letting that carbon monoxide get into your house. We recommend every home have carbon monoxide detectors just to be on the safe side, and don't use portable equipment, portable stoves and things like that within the home, because those do give off carbon monoxide and that can be deadly.
Good information to have just to help stay safe, stay healthy, and stay warm this winter season. We'll have a lot of this information on our website at woodtv.com. I'm Eva Aguirre Cooper, connecting with community.
Okay, Eva, thank you. We have a link with these health tips on our community page at woodtv.com. Now let's send it back outside to Brian Sterling for a look at what's coming up in our next half hour. Brian?
Yeah, Sue, the snow is still coming down, the wind is picking up, and it is quite frigid outside, bitter cold. It's all leading to some very dangerous conditions. Coming up, we're going to get you caught up on what's happening out on the roads next at 5. We have live team coverage all over our viewing area. And of course, up to the minute tracking as the snow comes down. It's just a minute away. Stay with us as our team coverage on this winter storm continues on your 24-hour News 8 at 5.